Welcome to Californians for Trump organizational structure. We have grown substantially, and it's time now to structuralize ourselves, and we're setting ourselves up the way the campaign is going to be needing, and the way the California Republican Party suggests that groups structuralize themselves. So it's basically we are the grassroots volunteers. So this structure is for the grassroots boots on the ground. Remember, although many of us are novices at political involvement, we are the Republican Party now. Many may have just joined, but we are all Republicans, and we all have an interest in growing the Republican Party in California and ridding the Democrats of their super majority. As Trump volunteers, we understand that with high turnout, Trump wins. We also support the need for a ground game, and we understand its importance in California. To begin, what you're about to see is a handout that was given by the California Republican Party to those who attended the precinct representative briefing. We're using that same structure because it is the structure that you use to help get out the vote in California. This is the ground game. What this is all about is the power of personal visits, the power of personality and one-on-one face-to-face. It's a personal contact in an impersonal world that's important. It cuts through all the junk mail, those painful phone calls that are just a nuisance, and that spam, that email, which so tired of even looking at it. It directly connects the voter to the political process. In person is the oldest and the most natural form of communication. When they see your face and you're talking to people, that's such an impact. It demonstrates effort and does establish, however, credibility for the Republican Party and for Trump. It's proven to drive the voter turnout, to drive it out, to have people show up and vote. This also includes the voter registration drives, the street corner flash mobs, the local rallies, the booths at fairs and events, and even the personal contact that we have via phone through the call fire system that we use. All these items will be discussed further later on in this presentation. So now is how do we organize that voter turnout? What we're using again is the Republican Party in California, their handout for the precinct training. We're also utilizing that for the Trump campaign. So it's one and the same. As our numbers have grown, it's time to get structured and organized and assist the campaign and set up a structure that gets those votes out. Well, there are many new groups popping up in California. We appreciate the interest of the nation as it's focusing towards California. These new groups on the social media, the problem with that is it dilutes our messaging. So it's more online conversation, which is great. We need to keep up on the issues and the current events. But what's different about our group and many others who join us is that we are the actual grassroots volunteers. We're asking you to join us. We're asking you to spend less time on Facebook. You can still go and check those posts out and post some good stories that you like. But we're also asking you to use some of your time, your spare time, to volunteer to help get the vote out. Knock on doors, show up at rallies, assist with leadership, assist as a volunteer, be involved with Trump in California. Join us today. Thank you. Hey, we're making history here, folks. I'll tell you, this is the first election where social media has been able to respond to the mainstream media's attacks and persuasion and propaganda. So social media has been crucial. What's also unique is we are using social media for the first time, really, to organize a state campaign. We're assisting on the grassroots level of how to get people involved and engaged throughout the state of California. And as you can see, it is a large state, and it is quite an intensive structure here. But with your help, we can do this, and we can, give it the best shot that we can and try to get those votes out. So what's crucial is to use social media not just to make postings and news stories, but also to actually get out of our chairs and off the couch and go out and volunteer for the Trump campaign. So to begin is your county level team, your precinct operation team. They say chairman. Well, it could be more than one. If it's a small county, obviously it'd be maybe one or two people, chairman, chairwoman. But we're hoping to have more teams. And the goal of this county level team is to lead the precinct organization in the county. They develop materials for distribution to the district leaders, because within many counties are congressional districts. They also manage countywide database of district leaders, their community leaders, and the precinct reps. They provide district leaders and community leaders with maps, precinct rep lists, walk lists, door hangers, etc. So they also represent, they're the representative for the statewide county planners page, a Facebook page for all the county team leaders, so we can have a statewide coordination. So county leadership team, there obviously could be co-chairs. There could be a group, a team. They're also usually the page administrators of that county. That's the goal. They're the page administrators, so they know what's going on in their county. These could very well be your district delegate team. Those delegates, those who applied and are being accepted as delegates, have a strong interest in the district's success. There's 3 main delegates per district, and there's 3 alternates. Obviously, they're not going to be the Trump delegate if that district does not win. So they have a vested interest to help get out the vote and to help our cause here. Next comes the district leadership team. The congressional district team is the most crucial, important role in the entire campaign. This team would be the one who would distribute materials received from the county level, from the director of precinct operations, which is your county leadership team. They also would maintain relationships and maintain lists of the community leaders in the congressional district. And they would also assist with recruiting, training, and supporting those community leaders. Okay, so what other roles could the congressional district team have? Well, they could be the alternate to the county team. An alternate meaning if the county team is not available or not responding to emails, we would go to the congressional district team. It is very important to understand the level of responsibility that this field director team has. They are crucial in winning that district. Next comes your community leadership. This community leadership is basically your cities and towns. They're responsible for a city and a town. Okay, they receive materials from your district, congressional district leader. They designate a location for materials to be picked up and specific dates and times, and they distribute these materials to all your precinct reps, otherwise known as your precinct captains. Those are your neighborhoods. They maintain relationships with precinct reps, and they assist with recruiting and training as necessary. So your community leaders, your town leaders. So you want to discuss with your team, what other roles could a community leader have? Could they be a membership director in that town? Could they be a community event coordinator? Could they also help with membership outreach? For example, a media contact coordination? So, as you can tell, there's quite a few roles in this structure that involves all of our efforts to get on track and get on board. And finally comes the precinct representatives, otherwise known as precinct captains. This is the most important person in the Republican Party, and that's the precinct representative. And the reason is because the precinct rep is who personally communicates with the voters face to face. They pick up materials from the community leader and they distribute to the Republican voters in their precinct on specified days that we have this outreach. The precinct captains are a crucial and important part of the campaign. They need to be familiar with issues. They should be non-confrontational. They should be look and dress and act professional, and they should be respectful. They are the local face of our candidate. Issue on dress. You don't want to be overdressed. You want to be, a little stepped up. You don't want to be underdressed, that's for sure, or sloppy. So you are the face of Trump, and it's very important that you represent him in a professional manner, non-argumentative, respectful. So exactly how does this all fit together to get strong voter turnout? The actual deployment of our volunteers. What I'm about ready to mention is what the Republican Neighborhood Precinct Organization is doing, which we are also need to be doing. But we may want to go ahead and do some practice runs before these dates. We may want to go ahead and start doing some outreach. Precinct captains could go ahead and start initially making a face-to-face contact with some of their neighborhood people, passing out the door hangers and literature that's provided, and again, having that personal connection. So on May 6th is your voter contact walk. That's the official all hands on deck, because it's 31 days before Election Day. This ensures that Republicans who are voting absentee receive their materials before they vote. Then on June 4th is your voter contact walk. Saturday before the election, this is the major push for Republicans to vote on Election Day. And we also have on Election Day the poll watching. This is the afternoon of Election Day. We maximize every last Republican vote. And we'll discuss all of these three deployment campaigns coming right up. On May the 6th and June the 4th, those are our voter contact walks. The purpose would be to contact Republican voters personally and encourage to vote on Election Day, and also dropping off a door hanger. Again, you may have a hanger with various candidates on there or signature. We don't want to put that inside any mailboxes. If no one is obviously home, you want to maybe stick it on a fence or on a screen door. Obviously, if there's dogs there, you don't want to go into a yard with dogs. Just, safety first. It's also good to go with a team. Maybe somebody walking on one side of the street and you walking on the other side of the street. But the goal is to personally visit as many Republican voters as possible. We're going to give you a list that tells you where these voters are. Distribute these door hangers or the campaign literature to each Republican household. We're going to be sending you a postcard or an email with location to pick up the materials on the Saturday before the election, and that way they're going to be arriving a week before, so you have plenty of time to go pick them up. 9 o'clock in the morning on that May 6th and June the 4th, we'll be picking up the precinct packet and campaign literature, and make sure you have that in your hand and distributed to you. Also, you're going to pick up the actual walking list, the materials for Election Day poll voting. It gives you the precinct list. After 9 o'clock in the morning is when you can start. You personally visit each Republican household in the precinct. So on Election Day, we have poll watching. And the Election Day poll watching, what you do then is later in the afternoon, our purpose is to check which Republicans have not voted that particular day. And we want to contact those who have not, and we want to urge them to vote. We can contact them either through in person at their door, or maybe we can give them a call because we have their numbers. If you made initial contact at these households, you may notice some of the senior citizens may need a ride, that sort of thing, and hopefully that list has been given to the campaign early enough so we can have some of our vans and buses potentially come by and pick up those who need rides to the polls. So personally persuade the maximum number of Republicans who did not vote during the day to go out and do so. When you go to polls, they have a list posted outside for this purpose, and they highlight, they update this list, but they highlight who has voted and who has not, so that the poll watchers can go out and help bring in the votes. So that list will be visible, and you'll see how that works. So on election day, we're going to be doing this poll watching. We will increase Republican turnout by personally contacting Republicans who have not voted yet on that day. The polling places are required by law to post and regularly update the list of those who have voted throughout that day. So sometime after 2 p.m., you go to your precinct's polling place, you bring the list of known Republican voters that you picked up, that you crossed off or notified on Saturday before the election, and you cross the names off those who voted off your list. You contact the rest of the people by phone or in person, and you get as many Republicans to the polls that you can. So let's review our goals. This is our goals of our organizational structure, of our ground game, and our precinct walkers. First, we want to personally speak with Republican voters. We want to drop off literature about Trump and your favorite local Republican candidate. Okay, so let's review some key points and tips. You are visiting Republican households. If your district and your county team decide they want to reach out to some independent households, that's perfectly fine. That's up to you. You do it maybe on different dates or whatever you would decide to do. But the goal is to, one, make sure that they know who their Republican candidates are. And two, make sure they actually turn out and show up and vote. This is crucial. Most do not show up. Most people, or I should say a big chunk, about 20 or 30%, most people who you visit will agree with you and will be thankful that you came by. And we know this from experience because you are talking to a targeted audience. You're not going to reach every voter. You want to make sure you dress appropriately. You don't want to overdress, especially on these, it's going to be hot summer days. Dress one step above those that you expect to meet, but never enter a person's home. Take a step back when you come to the door. It's more inviting to step a little bit back, let them know you're not threatening. And before the door hanger, hey, I'm here to give you this, and discuss what you're going to talk to them about. Ask them to come out to vote. And if interested, you may want to ask if they would like to volunteer or put up a yard sign or something. Always need more volunteers. Here's an example of a script you may want to say. Hi, I'm John Smith, and I live down the street, and I'm the Republican Party's representative in the neighborhood. I just wanted to stop by and leave you with this list of the Republican Party's officially endorsed candidates for the election. It's going to be close, so make sure you remember to vote. Now, I also wanted to check with you if you had any questions as to why you should vote for Donald Trump. Just an example of a script. Works pretty well. So a few more tips. Be sure and smile. Be friendly. Nobody likes a grumpy person coming to their door. And please, don't put literature in the mailboxes as mentioned. Don't argue with anyone. Skip houses with the dogs. Don't cut across lawns. Return the completed voter registration cards to your community leader. Because, you're carrying the cards too. We're going to discuss that in a moment about how to fill out a voter registration card. But you're carrying the cards with you in case you come across people who have not voted for a while and need to re-register. That's before the May 23rd deadline. The option is you could work with your local Republican Central Committee. If there are not enough Trump volunteers in your specific community, you have the freedom to share your support for Trump. So when you knock on the door, you can follow that previous script, the endorsed candidates, but there's nothing to prevent or stop you from voicing your support and opinion about Trump and giving them a Trump literature. So this is an example of your walk list. As you can tell on the very top, it has the name of the precinct number, the street that you're going to be walking on, the city, and the CD stands for Congressional District. Then, if you go down to the list, you actually see the phone number of the person, the address, You're going to see the party, a whole list. PTY stands for Democrat, Republican. And they have DS, they have I, decline to state, and I for independence. Independence may be a group that you want to work on as well. Then you're going to see the person's name, and you're going to see there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 columns under the codes. One is age, what is their age? And that's important because if you're going to go at the day of the poll watching, you see, well, also just helps you know that when people may be home. You know, if somebody's going to be over their 60s, they may be home during the daytime. It's that sort of thing. So it helps you gauge your campaign. It says their gender, sex, male, female. And also shows you how many times they voted last time. Was it, previous votes, count of votes. So VTS at last column, 2, 2, 0, 4, 2, 1. So that 0 person that's in the middle there, we may want to reach out to that person and bring them a registration card. Now you can see these response codes. That's where you will mark them. Very bottom of the page has what all of these things mean. So it says if you have Y means yes for support, U means undecided about needing support, no needs no support. NH, you'd circle, means not home. MV, they moved. VOL is volunteer, that's an important one. E means they're going to endorse. AV is absentee, has been applied for. And again, on those parties, there's libertarians, independent. You may also reach out to libertarians. Reform, green. If it's reform, green, that sort of thing, you're not going to worry about that. But traditionally, you're focusing on Republicans as well, obviously, making sure they're registered. But potentially, you may want to hit some independents. This is a sheet that also, again, you can use this to call people or to knock on their doors or both. This is the actual registration card. You want to be carrying these with you as you're knocking on doors, because as you saw from the last sheet, that there's, it's highlighted who are Republicans but yet haven't voted, so therefore they need to re-register. So you want to be sure and register them. You also may want to do this, as I say, well before the May 23rd deadline, so that you can get to know your neighborhoods and reach out to those Republicans who have not voted in a while, because they are going to be Trump voters. The odds are the ones who are disillusioned and haven't voted are going to be Trump people. So we want to pinpoint those people. Now, on the left side of the screen, you'll see it says, that's the full size of the card. It's a long card. So what you do is you fold the lower half. It's perforated so you can see where you sign your name. You fold that, and that way it fits easily on the clipboard. Okay? And the very top says San Joaquin County. This is a county voter registration card. You can also acquire a statewide one. When you do the statewide ones, that's okay. That's for like if you're in an area where it has maybe a lot of people come through, like a voter registration drive or a fair, could be various people. Most counties, though, if you have a San Joaquin County or whatever the county is, and that's all you have, then the registrar of voters there will ship it to the right county if it's out of their area, and the card will work for them. Is what they say. Anyway, so as you can see, we don't start from the top of this card. The advice is start from the middle. If you look on the right-hand side, start with your date of birth. Just go ahead and ask him, hey, what's your date of birth, and where were you born, what state, and then and the next one, number 11. They say maybe you don't want to use your driver's license. Go ahead and mention their social security number, the last 4 numbers of their social security number, and pop that in there, because not everybody has their driver's license number memorized or with them. Then you skip the email. You go down to number 14 and quickly ask them, do you have a party preference? Obviously, you're there to register anyone, but you're steering them to the Republican Party. You might want to mention this is a closed Republican primary. You must be registered Republican to vote for the presidential candidates. Then there's the next one is about initially if they want to have a ballot by mail. If you register to vote below is number 16. Are you a U.S. citizen, yes or no? Over 18, yes or no? And then you can have them sign it. But you also want to go over and the little green box on the right hand side, optional if you want to be a poll worker. But after you have all this kind of stuff, then you can go back and ask them, okay, what was your full legal name now? Your first, last address. You can do the top half. When you're all done, you're going to unfold this where it's perforated, and you rip out the bottom half and you give that to them. That's their receipt. It has a number on there that shows them that they are actually now registered. Okay? So it's very important how you approach this because it's for time and essence. So again, to get the buy-in, it's usually better to start with a date of birth, do it a little more, that's just some advice from people who do this a lot. Okay? So that's the end of our precinct organization. And it's really, again, how we're set up because we want to reach out to the voters. So that's a structure of our ground game. The next following slides are a little more information about other outreach that we can do into our communities to help that Trump becomes something familiar in the community, let them know that we are here. Most Trump people do not show up to Central Committee meetings, do not know about this process. They are new to the political structure. We've said to them from the very beginning, go to your Central Committee meetings. The Republican Party is your party. Take it over. Run for a Central Committee seat. A lot of times they have openings. They can appoint you as an alternate or, just appoint you to fill that seat. So you want to show up at those meetings because if we win, they now work for us. Okay, so we're part of them and they're part of us. Don't feel shy. Don't feel like, oh my goodness, they're off for a cruise or whatever. Then go there and stand up for Trump. That's what we need to do. Okay. So now we turn to voter registration drives and why it's important because it's a chance to get local volunteers signed up. You want to have a sign-up sheet and sign up those local volunteers. Also, it does alert the public to the closed primary and the deadline to register, which is May 23rd. So you want to do a press release about your registration drive. So it's a chance to let the newspapers and even radio run ads about this closed primary. So you want to also increase voter turnout. When you have increased voter turnout, we all know it means higher chance for Trump to win. And finally, you want to make sure you can show a local presence in your community. So here are the steps for the registration tables. First, you want to go get a registration form at the county government administration building, the county elections office. They're going to have you sign a form if it's a large quantity that you're picking up. Yes, you can go get them at the post office, other places. However, it's nice to go to the county because then you can get as many as you want. And if you have any questions, you can ask them. You are representing Californians for Trump, so you can sign that on the form. And there's a link here if you want to go ahead and click on the Secretary of State and learn a little bit more specifically on the process of having a voter registration drive. Number 2, there's usually a GOP table. That's quite sufficient. It doesn't have to be a Trump-only table. On that table could be Trump literature, maybe a handout on the issues. You can go online to his website. You can grab some of his, his views on certain issues. You can print those out. You can have flyers that way. We have brochures if you need them. When the Trump campaign office is here, they will have some literature for you as well. Invite the local GOP to join you. Call up the Central Committee. Say, hey, I'm having a voter registration table set up for the GOP. Come out and join us. Invite them. If someone asks you up to your table, hey, I see all this Trump stuff, where's the Cruz stuff? You could honestly say, hey, they never showed up. Number 3, have a volunteer sign up to help you with the table and the Trump, campaign. Number 4, become familiar with the registration form. You saw recently the explanation of that form a few slides back. Number 5, call the local media to inform them that there's a table set up and why you are there, because it's a closed primary, that we must be a registered Republican to vote Republican in the presidential election, and that the deadline is May 23rd to register. This is a chance for the media to run an ad. That's the main thing that you're doing. They are not running ads. They are not running public service announcements. So we want to educate the public. You can also offer the online Secretary of State web address, how you can register online, as well as your table location to make it a local story. You can also post after the fact a photo of whoever's at the table and submit that as a news story in your local paper. A lot of times they like to run little interest stories, what's going on in their community, get a little picture, and you send that picture to them. Okay, next we're going to turn to call fire. You can make calls for Trump from your home. You can be anywhere in the nation or in the state. You can use call fire by submitting your name, and we will get you hooked up, and you'll get this form that you send this page sent to you through email. I want to give a little note to you that the local Trump offices will have phone banks. Well, all the others can continue to use this call fire system. So you will get this special account set up. You're going to sign in using your username and password sent to you. And that's all there is to it. You can start making calls for Trump. They give you a script, which you will see on the next couple slides. So we have many people right now in California already using call fire because they've been calling for other states. So you can sign up right now immediately. Okay, it's to phone call nationwide for the Trump campaign. And here are some frequently asked questions. First of all, do I have to have a long distance on my phone? No, you don't have to have long distance on your phone. The calls will be dialed by the call file system and routed to your phone. Will everyone I call see my phone number? No, the calls will be coming from the Trump campaign office that you are calling for. That is the phone number that will be shown on the caller ID. Will people be calling me back on my phone number? No. The people will call the Trump campaign office you are calling for when they call back. Would this make my phone bill go up? If you have a phone plan with limited minutes, this might cause you to go over your minutes. If you have unlimited minutes on your phone, then it will not cause your phone bill to go up. Do I have to look up phone numbers to call? No, you will log on to the online system that will automatically dial calls for you, and then they will route the calls to you. Will someone train me how to use the system? Yes, there are training documents posted on Dialing for Donald, and also help is available by phone. Please join the Facebook page, Californians for Trump Volunteers, to see all documents as well. When you go on that page, you go up to the top where it says Files, and you will see the documents are stored there for you. Why do I have to give you my phone number and email address? Well, we will forward it to the contact that is in the Trump campaign office. He will put you in the call fire calling system. What if I only want to give my phone number and email address to the Trump campaign and not to you? Well, we have found that getting the information from you and forwarding it to him is an effective means of getting volunteers on the system. This bypasses the swamped email boxes of the campaign offices and brings it to a specific person's attention. But if you don't want to give us the information, we'll be happy to try to help you find a campaign office contact or email. As the California offices open up, obviously you can call locally in their call system that they have there at the office. Call Fire auto dials for you. It's very easy. It's right on your desktop of your or on your smartphone. So Sherry Lopez is one of the people that we use as a contact. If you send her a friend request, she says, you can also, do that, Sherry Lopez, and you can look her up on your Facebook page, or you can send the email to the Trump Volunteer Central at yahoo.com. Include your name, your phone number, and an email address required, and you will need a computer and a phone. Again, we have other contacts within the Trump campaign, but for now, let's try Sherry. If you have a problem, give us a call, give me a personal email, and we'll be giving that information at the end of this slideshow. Another way to get known in your community, at the community, the city and town level, is by having street corner flash mobs. It can be just a few people. It's up to you how many people you want to get involved in it, but you can have a flash mob, Trump rally, call it. But get on your county list. Get on your county list. That we have the list of every county. You can go into that specific Californians for Trump, your county name, and combine with other people there, post some ideas about wanting to have a flash mob. You can also use message chat. Okay, these are consisting of active Trump volunteers on our county lists and our message chat. So some county, like say LA County, they have so many congressional districts, they also have their separate chat. So you can also form a separate chat with your county. A lot of the leaders of that county are on a separate chat. So you can send this message to your friends and fellow volunteers in your local area that says, quote, "Join me at a flash mob, Trump rally, bring a sign saying Trump or Make America Great Again." Make sure you include the date, time, and location. Take pictures and videos of the event and post them on your county group. Post them on our main page. Be sure and be friendly, be safe, have fun. And what's nice about the flash mob, it is a safety issue. No one knows you're doing this. That's why we kind of keep our groups as tight as possible, so there won't be a protester situation. And real quick, wave signs for a little while, let people know in the neighborhood that you're there, that Trump supporters are in the neighborhood, so the silent majority can speak and be proud again. We also suggest that you could maybe do a local rally in your county-wide area, and also maybe booths at fairs and events. Let us know if you're planning a rally so we can assist you with speakers and other logistics and promotions. Booths at fairs and flea markets, etc. could be a way to also outreach and promote Trump in your local area. Merchandise for these events can be obtained at your local campaign office, and the fair fees and booth fees may also be provided by the campaign. Be sure and coordinate your event and post it on your county events tab on Facebook. So every Facebook group has a tab that says events, and you click on that and you go ahead and list your event. And also on the main page, the Californians for Trump main page, please post on your events there as well, in case people may want to go to your booth or your rally event. Feel free to click on this video if you want to watch one of our rallies and one of our promotional videos. And we hope you've enjoyed the slideshow and got some information. The next slide will give you some contact information. Please go ahead and get a hold of us, and we will certainly help you. We do, the county list that's going to be posted is not complete. We have now all the counties listed and available. So go ahead and click on the county that you wish to participate in.